Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode one of Ask Me Anything. My name is Vikram Shetty, and I'm a director at 73-Bit. So, the idea behind this sessions here is that I've been giving an alumni talk whenever a new batch of students come to our college. And from last year onwards, I've changed the format of it to not speak about my experience and all, but to ask as many questions as they have and answer them. And even last year and this year, I found that a bunch of students, uh, I couldn't answer their questions because we ran out of time. So I thought of sending them a short survey on Google Forms and ask them to put in their question. And if I can ask them in today's digital world, why should we wait for 1 year for any answer? And I opened it up for all the students of 3 years of BSc Com Science and in Information Technology, also MSc students for Com Science and Information Technologies. So I've also seen some patterns in the question. So I thought like, let them ask and I can be more specific and I can send out in a batch of it. So let's jump into it. So I have received 10 questions for now. So every batch of 10, I will create this video. So I'll go one by one. The first question that was asked was, what about sports volleyball? When can we come to college to practice it? So first of all, like this is not a question, kind of question that I was expecting, but since it has been put here, I just wanted to highlight is when I said ask me anything, I mentioned about my description and my profile, and later on I changed a bit about it to ask more specific question on career, job, business, idea, industry, or networking related. So yeah, so I am not the right person. You might have to ask your college admin or somebody to answer this, but that was the first question. Swiftly moving to the next one. So a good one, how to get a job as an 18-year-old guy. Okay, so uh, it assumes that the person is still studying and want to do a job. So the suggestion that I would give here is what you can do is start with your friends and families. If your parents are working, ask ask them. So what you can do is ask them to uh, give you a contact of people to whom you can ask these questions. Okay, so this particular question. So for example, you ask the colleague of your parent saying that I am looking for a job, these are my skills, this is the time that I can devote for the work. uh, do you think is there any part-time job available? Okay, so you start with the idea bit, what all things can be done. Ask them if they have ever worked when they were in college, what kind of jobs that they were doing. So if you talk to, I'm always throwing a bigger number here, but let's start with 10 people. So you talk to 10 people who wants to get a do a job, and you can find it. So my recommendation here is, because this is the time that you are currently studying, your main focus should be on your studies. But yeah, due to some financial reason, you might think that you want to find a job. In that particular case, find a part-time thing that can support your minimum needs. That would be advisable. And if you are really enterprising, I would request you to uh, find or start a side hustle or a side business, like give your time for money, uh, to give a service based business. So I will not go in detail about, because you have asked me for a job, but if you go to vikramshetty.com, the current article that I have, it has a 10-hour podcast specifically showing step by step how you can have a side income. And the amount of hours that you put in a month will be in the range of 5 to 10 hours. That will make you around 3,000 rupees. So if that's of interest to you, you can go ahead and check that. That was question number 2. Let's see question number 3. So can you suggest some business idea related to BSc IT? So This was the question which took a lot of time for me to think about, because that person is asking to share some business ideas. So there are many out there, and there is a saying that execution is more important than ideas. But since the question is asked, I will answer it first, and uh, I will share one idea, and I will go into a bit of a depth of it rather than sharing multiple ideas. And if you're not satisfied, the person doesn't have a Twitter account, so I don't know who am I answering. But if you have further question, you can. I'll put the link of this survey in the below this video, so you can ask more detailed question. Okay, but I'll start with one idea. This might be the most lengthiest part of the video, but bear with me. So the idea here is related to books and libraries. So the name of the business, I've kept it as barteryourbooks.com, and the idea comes up from the basis that it's a bootstrap, and you need zero investment. Okay, so this is how it works. So the thesis or the problem that we are trying to solve here is, due to the lockdown, many people have learned or cultivated the habit of reading books because they have a little more time with them right now. So what you will do is, people have bought many books over the lockdown, and they have read it and they have kept it. They don't want it anymore. So you find 100 people in your area, and that's very specific. It should be in the radius of 3 kilometers, where you can walk and collect those books and see if somebody wants to donate the book. Okay, so first you will collect books from 100 people. So pretty much one, if even if it's one per person, you will get 100 books. So you have to target of 100 books. If one person donates more than 100 books, that's good for you. Once you have a book, so there is zero investment. You walk their place, you collect the book. So you have 100 books now. So your business is about library, a barter system library. So what you do is, so all your books comes for free, and pick a topic. Okay, don't do all the books in the world. Let's say I give you a talk of business books because you wanted business ideas. Let's work with business book for now. Okay, and you might think, why would someone lend you the book? Okay, so what you tell them is, from my business, it has to have a mission or a goal. So I will not go into elaborate detail about it, but let's say you tell them, and you also do it, that you tell them 50% of the profit of that particular business, of that library business that you're doing, will go to girl child education. So that's your mission of girl child education, and it's basically learning and books are related, so everything kind of fixed. So people will give you a book, so you have the book. Now you have a book, now you have to find members. Okay, now this can be the same people, but you might find the same new members also, but the radius has to be within the 3 kilometer function. So the business will work something like, if somebody wants to be a member um, of your library, they have to pay a monthly fee. Okay, so the idea is, you have to pay the monthly fee for a doorstep delivery. Okay, so that is one service that you're giving to them, and they have, every time you give them the book, they have to give you back the book, give a book back to you. So it could be the previous book, or the first time they have to give you a book. So you get another 100 books if you have 100 members, new members added, and the monthly fee for that membership is 100 rupees per month. So the idea is, every month you get a new book to read, and in 1200 rupees you will get 12 books. Otherwise the cost of an average book is 300 rupees. So you can do your math. So for every 3 or 4 books, you get pay for that much and read 12 books. So that's one thing. So that's one value proposition that you have. If you don't know what is value proposition, go uh, search it on Google. This is not a detail about that particular thing. The another thing that you have to create is, you have to create create a Zoom business book club. So every month, along with that, there will be a business book club. It should be a 30 minutes book club. You host it. You invite your members, whoever are interested in. So it's a thing, but it has to be like an actionable thing, that because it's a business book, people read business book to get some idea and implement it. Okay, so whatever they have implemented, so this might be professionals or business people, so if they have implemented any idea or any idea they liked, so they can share it in this business club. So this becomes kind of a pool of people talking to each other and also adding to it. So there you get two value of for that 100 rupees. Every 100 rupees, and for 100 rupees a month, you get a book as well as a invitation to this book club. Okay, so that is two invitation. And so that means for the value of 100 rupees they are getting something more than the money, and they also get this network of people. Okay, now that's a very transactional part of it. From the business point of it, that's pretty much the idea, so you can do it. But some of the suggestion that I would do is that you have to always hire the delivery guy to give and take. You should not do that. The reason you are studying, or after BSc also, you have to build the team and build the team and work on the business, not go and deliver book. In the initial days you can if you want, but that is one thing you have to keep in mind. And second thing is, like I did a minimum mathematics for hiring someone. So you need 150 members to hire your delivery boy. So till 150 members, you can't hire a delivery boy, but after 150, and use some kind of cool name for that person. So maybe a knowledge boy or something like that, or a library boy, so that you can kind of create a buzz around it, or okay. Now this is the initial part of the idea, but you can kind of, I heard multiple ideas related to this own business. Like you can have a community conference yearly or 6 monthly, where you can have advertisers, or like there are a lot of ideas around the community and conference, and you can create many digital product around the book lover, specifically you are in business. Okay, and there are some side benefit of it. But if you are really interested to explore, go deeper into the barteryourbooks.com idea, what I would want you to do is, like, if you really are capable of pulling this off, is I want you to reach out to 10 people and then ask them to watch this section, and ask them to put a question of their to this particular survey in below. So not only I will get a different variety of question, not only your question, and watch this section at least 3 times, so that your question is more refined. I've seen the questions here is very plain, and I will talk about better question for the future question. I hope that answer, that was a lengthy one, but the question was very broad in that sense. The question number 4 I have is, what career option that can I have after completing BSc? I got this question in my session also. I couldn't answer it properly. Now is the opportunity to answer. So I will give you 10 job options. Okay, sorry, career options, and mostly are related to job here, because I think that's what it means. So a programmer is on its own, is a big one, but you can become a programmer. You can become a data analyst. You can become a business analyst. You can become a quality assurance or a testing personnel. You can become a front-end developer, only working on the UX and user experience and user design point of view. You can become a technical support person. Okay, you can become a database admin. Okay, you can become an ethical hacker, and you can also become a digital marketing person, social media, for working for social media influencers and stuff. You can become a content writer. Okay, so these are 10 jobs that are at least the career option that you can do after BSc. And you can also have the whole option of starting your own business and stuff, but I don't think that was the intention. But those are the jobs. I think that's nice. The fifth question that I have is, what best language after Java? So there is already a debate here, like you are telling Java is the best language. Other programmers might find it offended, but I will not go into that debate right now. So I think more than giving the direct answer, I think the ability to find your own answer is the skill that you should develop. I'll give you I'll give you other languages which are popular right now. So I'm not answering it directly, but maybe uh, popular. The reason is you get paid nicely. Okay, so there are currently with some data backed. Okay, the link from where I'm currently reading is also in the description along with the survey. Ask me anything question survey and other links. So the top other language is one currently which is famous is JavaScript. The one is HTML, CSS, the front end development. The third is Python, and this is because of data science, the boom in the data science. Then there is Node.js, then there is C Sharp, PHP, Go, Rust, Ruby. Okay, so there are other. R is also popular. It's again a variation of the core language is Python, but again data science. There are other Groovy and stuff like that. But what I did was I went to a developer survey, and I think there are more than 83,000 responses. Okay, for most commonly used programming language survey. Okay, so this is a survey done by Stack Overflow. It's a famous website. If you are a programmer, you should know about it. And so what I will suggest you is whenever you have this kind of question, go to popular developer websites or go to sites like Payscale or where the job portal and stuff, and figure out there how many jobs are related to a particular language. Okay, that will be also a good indicator of what's there, how long has that language been around, what is the life of that language, and so on and so forth. I hope that answers. You also have to find a method to find this answer on your own. Okay, and you can use the same method for finding different questions, answer to the question. Question number 6, techniques to improve your listening skill. Very nice question. This is my favorite question from this bunch. I think this and business idea is competing, but I think this question is favorite for the reason that very unique question. People are, it's like a good question kind of. You're asking very specific detailed question, not a generic one. Okay, a generic question, why don't you want to ask? Because there are already other places on net or on YouTube channels where you can find the answer. So you have to be very specific to your own problem and kind of a bit more detail, the answers which you can't find easily maybe. All right, so here is my technique. So there have been asked multiple techniques. I'll give one technique for now. You master it, and maybe we can work on, or you can also find, as I told you, can find different method. So here is the technique that I've been using recently after a couple of months of training. The first, there are 3 steps to it. The first step is ask a good question. So whenever you're having a conversation, ask a good question and then listen. Okay, I don't try to interrupt or don't wait. Or normally what happens is during when someone is talking, we are preparing the next question in our mind and things, so we kind of miss the listening part of it. But ask question, and the technique that I'm going to share you is paraphrase at the end. So what I mean is, so for example, when you ask a question, then you have to listen to paraphrase it back, which means if I ask, let's think about a question like, let's say a good programming question is, what is encapsulation? Okay, and so the person in front of you answers that questions. Okay, data hiding and all the definition and gives an example and so. So after the person ends, you have to be in a position to paraphrase it. Paraphrasing is means repeat that thing to the person and confirm that is it what they meant. Okay, so what I like, you can start something like this. Okay, so what you said to me right now is data hiding of a particular variable which cannot be accessed directly outside the program, and the example that person has given to you. Is this correct in my understanding? and these are the advantages, these are the disadvantages. Okay, and then follow it up with another question, maybe while you are telling them. Then maybe while you are explaining it, you can put up another question, and then that person can like knows that you are listening. The two behavior that you want to put here is understanding that person and having empathy towards that time. So you fully concentrate so that you can put it back in your own words about that. So that's one technique. Paraphrasing is what I would use. Okay, now this technique I might have picked up from one of the books or somewhere. So might be structure, but you start practicing this and it could help. Okay, there's another question is a good one. How can one earn being so what is the earning mechanism of an ethical hacker? So that's a good one because there are a lot of ethical hacking questions around there. One thing that I found recently in my previous call, I mentioned that I'm not the right person to answer this, but what I found is something called as bug bounty. Okay, so all the Indian so all the software company in the world, they have this bug bounty program. Okay, I found this article on moneycontrol.com. So basically what happens is currently Indians are leading this, and many of them are students. So basically what it means in simple terms is so for any software which is publicly available, they ask you to kind of find a way to break it. Okay, and if you win that, the company will kind of pay you for finding that bug in their software, and they will internally, the engineers will fix it for them. So you will be so many students, there are competitions that you can take part in, just like hackathon, but this is only purely for bugs. So that's how one earns while studying also. And also I think later on, I think the amount is in lakhs. So definitely I'm not sure if there is a career path, but again, you can find someone on Twitter and figure out. I will mention this link also in the description for you to read. Okay, how to find a favorite programming language. So now again, that language of favorite. So I will share a technique. Okay, so I don't know how the answer is, and you will definitely have a favorite language that you like to work with. So what I will do is, if I'm a student, I'll search for interview code assignments on the net. Okay, so what you will do is you go on the internet, you will find the interview code assignment, find the problem statement. It should be fairly easy to be solved in any programming language. Then what I will do is I will solve that problem in multiple language that I already know. Maybe in your case could be Python, C sharp. I'm not sure if they're teaching C right now, but JavaScript, Java. So you took 4 or 5, try to solve it in all of them. Okay, see firstly in which language you find it like you solve it, and you kind of have a measure of metric. Okay, you create a 10-point metric sample, like example that I can give is, and make it elaborative. Okay, so you get some data points to as a feedback loop. Okay, so first thing, I think how fast, like that could be a metric. So you set a timer, see how fast you can. So your skills kind of kills up. Sometimes you're good at something, you like it, so something like that. So that is one. Second is how easy is for you to understand the problem and to convert it into a programming language. That's ease of understanding. How quickly you picked up the problem or deconstructed, or you find a bug, how quickly you fixed it. So picking up stuff. And this is an interesting one, is like how is your overall feeling. So pick up similar other parameters, make it 5 to 10. Yeah, make it a bit more, find out, figure out different things while you are doing in particular language, and kind of have a metric. Then you put score of 1 to 10 for each, then you calculate, you will get a number, and that's an indication. Okay, and then at least you will come to know, okay, this is not something that I'm liking, or this is I'm liking. I like the way it works and stuff like that. Okay, so that's one way to find your favorite programming language. Definitely you have to put in time and effort to figure it out. The second last question for the day is, how can I start networking? Okay, that's a very good question. Again, I think top three comes the third good question, and very important for you to start networking is what happens is whenever you are trying to find a job, or you are trying to find a solve a problem, or if you solved something good and you want to share with people and take their feedback and stuff, you need people who are like-minded, and you need people who have same interest as you are, and there are many people out there who have the similar interest. So what I will give you is a 10 minutes 10 people exercise on Twitter. So basically every day you spend 10 minutes to speak to 10 people on internet. Okay, so the idea here is you ask one question to 10 different people in the same area and try to collect answers for it. Okay, this question has to be related to the thing that you like. And again, the question has to be good. Like, so I'll give you an example. uh, and the emphasis on the question is, again, ask me anything, right? So yeah, I'm kind of teaching you like how to ask a better question, so that my future questions are more in depth, and it takes a little longer an hour for me to prepare it. I know it's challenging for me, but yeah, I also have an option of skipping or telling that I don't know something, which if I don't know I shouldn't tell you. But here is an example. It's an okay question, not a bad question. But suppose in Twitter you find someone right now, you are in the last year of your graduation. So you put a question: how can I find a job after my graduation? I will be graduating next year. So this can be a question. You find someone on internet with keyword and things. You have to Google and figure out how to do a keyword search. Very simple for people who have been using internet for many years now. A better question for this would be, what would be your advice to yourself when you were in the last year of college and wanted to get a good job placement after an year? Okay, same question, but the way you put it in, putting that person, asking that person to be suggesting for themselves, whatever, 5 years back, 10 years back, and so on and so forth. So that question becomes interesting. So you have to figure out one question. Don't ask the same question for the, maybe yes, so the whole week you ask the same question. So you ask it to 100 people, then next week you think about a different question, but maybe put it around a specific area. So suppose if you are interested in artificial intelligence or ethical hacking or jobs around some a particular topic, like you are determined, like you want to go into this field, and if you are still figuring out which field, so maybe dedicate 1 month to ethical hacking, 1 month to artificial intelligence, 1 month for web development, 1 month for testing, 1 month for even content writing, right? Why not? So you ask 5 questions or 4 questions per, and then do it for 100 people per week. So you will have 400 answers. That might help you, might give you some ideas. At least it will get you some words. Not everyone will not answer it, so uh, be careful and don't do one thing, like don't keep on asking the same person if they are not responding, they don't want to talk to you, so let them be. Okay. um, Again, here also I've kind of shared you a method. I'm more kind of like this subject of asking questions and finding methods is kind of lost. I feel everyone wants a ready-made answer to it. They don't want to put in the effort or find ways to find answers next time. So I would like in the example of the business idea also, I gave the answer of with an idea, but what I would have suggested, my suggestion to you, if you are starting, if you want to start a business, would be like, what is the problem you are trying to solve, and what gap you have identified. Let me give you an example. So if you don't have any business idea, what you should be doing is you find in your day-to-day life, is there any gap or is there any problem that you are happy to solve, and then find a solution around it. So for example, and that becomes your business idea. Well, let me give you an example. If you don't know this already, that in India, especially in urban India, the the percentage of female who work is less than 8%. Okay, 8%. So that's single digit, and that's not good for the overall economy. There are many other ramifications, but that is kind of a problem. Okay, now why it is a problem for India actually is any economically prospering countries have maximum female population in the workforce. Okay, so for example, Japan, for that matter, even in Bangladesh, the percentage is above 60%. Okay, so they have 60% of urban female working person, and that they are kind of increasing, and that's it. Even our other neighboring countries are much better than us. And for example, countries like China and Japan, they are exceeding 90%. Okay, so as and I'm talking about urban population, I guess the numbers might be here and there, but that's pretty much the idea. So that is a problem. Okay, so now you have to, like, what you can do is, which kind of is missing, like you always want to get an idea and start working on it, but the whole research part of it, I won't call it as it's actually a market research, but remove the market part of it, just the curiosity part of the research part of it is like what I would be doing. Like, for example, this is a problem, I don't know, I don't have any solution or an idea of it, but what I can do right now is I can find or go on whatever Instagram, Twitter is the, I think, a better place, or maybe LinkedIn in this case, professional people. And in that case, what I would do is I will find out people who are working and ask them to let me know about uh, people who are the if they know any female in their colleagues or someone who have stopped working, and then maybe connect with them and ask them reasons why they have stopped working. Okay, and so you might do that for 1000 people. I know this would be a lot of work, and it is hard. The good businesses are really hard. The example that I have shown you could be a simple one, and because was a simple one, the amount of money you will make is also not too much. For example, I did a math. So if you add 500 membership in your library, that would give you 6 lakh of income, out of which 3 lakh will go to your one delivery boy to attend the monthly stuff, and out of the remaining 3 lakhs you have to give other expenses, damages and stuff. You'll end up with 2 lakh or something. 1 lakh you will keep it in pocket, and 1 lakh you will give it to a girl child education. Remember, that's the whole reason you will encourage people to join your or be a customer to your company. Yeah, there has to be some reason. All right. So that's a small business, a small problem you are solving. So this is a big business, so that might take a lot of research. So if you are currently studying, you can do the research part right now. Talk to all of them. That would also help you increase the uh, uh, what do you say, your networking. So especially if you are a female, then that's a good thing to do. So you figure it out. Like, talk to 1000 people. When you go through their answers, you'll find a pattern. Okay, now for example, if you see, if you ask me question in the future also, you will have a similar pattern in my idea. All my business idea will be a membership or a SaaS based business idea, because I run a SaaS company. So that's pretty much a pattern that you will always see. So when you do this kind of research, you will find a pattern, and you will find a common problem. Okay, so your objective as an entrepreneur or a businessman is to find common problems and find a solution which is uh, easy, cost effective to do, and gives more value, maybe at least 5x 10x value, and that's where you make the margin from it. So that's what I would kind of suggest people to think in terms of methods and research rather than finding for right answers. Okay, that was a longer answer for networking, but yeah, the last question for the day I have is, how can I join 73bit? So I've answered this in my session also. I did a small mistake, a slight mistake. I told you it's easy. It's actually what I meant to say. What it is simple to join. So there are 3 steps to it. So whenever anyone wants to be a developer, C# ASP.NET developer, they have to give 2 online exams. One will be analytical exam, which is mathematical question to check your logic skills. The first one will be analytical. The second one will be a more domain level, or the C sharp, basically the language check. So where we will give you 10 videos which is related to the work that we do and ask questions around it. So that will be second round, and the third round will be the code assignment round. So you will given a C sharp problems to solve. This is a very bespoke. You will not find this problem on the net because it's very close to the problem that we are solving in the real life. So we have customized that the stuff, and you have to solve it. And if your program runs, so the first step, if you pass first interview, first stage, you go to next round, second round, third stage. When you pass the third round, then is your interview round, a Zoom call with us, me and Gautam. And that is where we will ask you to make one change in the programming language, and or the code that you have submitted. So your code is already running. Ask you to make an enhancement to it, and we will check how quickly, or how we'll actually come to know practically that if you know how to write C# programming language. So yeah, that's the 3 steps, and if you qualify, then we'll ask you to join the team. Currently, we are looking for one JavaScript developer, front end, entry level, and one C# programmer. That's currently the programmer requirement that we have. Anyways, I don't want to plug my company here. The whole idea is to answer to the student, and I hope I've kept all my answers practical and pragmatic. Thank you very much. If you like, leave a like button, share that survey form which is in the description with your friends. Ask them to ask me questions so that I can reply. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye bye.